Hello, it's Lee from Media Music Now, and today I want to walk you through our new Audiobook Cost Calculator. Now, it's totally free and it's available to anybody that might be an author, a voiceover, or an audiobook producer. And the idea of the tool is that it gives you all the costs and working out that you need to be able to sort of budget for an audiobook project of your own, or to know how to charge your clients as a voiceover or audiobook producer. Now, over the years, we've always found this a bit of a challenge, and we came up with spreadsheets galore, and now we've turned it into this free calculator. So let's have a look at it. So to start with, I'll give you an overview of what is in the calculator. So it's in 4 parts. So you've got the first part, which calculates the word count per hour for the voiceover. And then part 2 calculates the number of finished hours. It approximates it based on the word count. Part 3 then calculates the cost based on the per finished hour cost or rate that your voiceover provides. Section 4 is about understanding the work behind the finished hour, and that will be of use if you are an audio producer or voiceover that uses different people to do different aspects of the project. So, for instance, if you're the voiceover, you might use somebody to do the editing. You might use somebody just to do the mastering. As an audiobook producer myself, I'm not a voiceover, so I would use a voiceover to do the recording, and then I would probably do the full editing if the voiceover doesn't want to do that, and the mastering as well. This then becomes very useful for working out individual costs. But for now, let's start at the beginning. The first part of this calculator is to work out words per hour. The best way to work out the words per hour is to provide an excerpt of your book to the voiceover. So give them a 500 word excerpt, or 600 or 1,000, whatever number of words they're prepared to do as a demo. Send that to them. When their demo comes back, so for instance, let's say it was 500 words that you gave them. When their demo comes back, just check the duration of the audio. Let's say it was 3 minutes 47, then that would give you a word per hour rate of 7,930. We've put this number in as default, actually, 7,930, because we find that quite a good number. But the typical rate is said to be between 9,000 and 10,000 words. It just depends really on the voiceover. So once you've got that information, you then need to put in the number of words in your book. So for instance, 60,000 words. Actually, I best put the time back in there. So 3:47. So 60,000 words would be approximately 7 hours and 34 minutes. The simple way then to now calculate the cost is to just put the rate per finished hour. Here we have a rate of £200 per finished hour, and that shows that the book would cost £1,514. You can change the currency. It doesn't do anything to the figures. It's just for aesthetics, really. So because we're in the UK, we will stick with GBP, and you can change this number to any number that you like, and it will adjust the cost for the finished book. So let's look at part 4 now. Now, this part really is for people like me who work with voiceovers and do the editing and the mastering. You can use it as a voiceover if you're doing all of those tasks, because you might want to see where the time is going. So let's look at it from that point of view first. So if we look at this calculation, you can see that I've entered in the time needed here as 1.25 hours. And what this is the time needed to record 1 hour of audio. So as a voiceover, you could tweak this number to anything that you want. You might and really fast and manage to do an hour in an hour of recording. But then, if there's going to be errors and mistakes that need doing, it might take a bit longer. So you can adjust that accordingly. And then the editing as well. I mean, you can sort of decide how long it takes you to edit. So, for example, to edit 1 hour of audio, if you say it's going to take you 2 hours, then that's what you put in there. You might be fast and do it in an hour and a half. It might take you longer. It might take you 4 hours. And the same with the mastering. If you say it's going to take me 3/4 of an hour to master 1 hour of audio, then that's the number you put in here, 0.75, 3/4 of an hour. And what that does then, if your cost per finished hour is £200, it just basically works it out as a percentage. So you can see where most of your time goes in the process. It might be good to justify a price to a client, because you can see here that the total, if you look at the totals down here, it breaks down all of the time for the recording, all of the time for the editing and the mastering, and it also works out the total number of hours that will be required to complete the project, and gives an overall hourly rate. This is your time worked for the project. So the hourly rate, it mustn't be confused with the cost per finished hour, because that's different. But a cost per finished hour, in this case, takes 3.5 hours to produce 1 hour. Now, that's great if you are the only person working on this, or the 3 people that are working on it all have the same hourly rate and are going to split the hourly rate equally. But if you're like myself and you work with voiceovers to do editing and mastering, then I find that most people have different rates to me. So, for example, I know that most audiobooks I can master an hour with half an hour of time needed. Then to make that less than £62 an hour, I can change the figure. So if I put 25 in there, you see now it says it comes out £50 an hour for the mastering. And then the same for the editing. Let's say I wanted to do this as £30 an hour, then I would have to put in 45 there. That makes £30 an hour. And then the voiceover, they might want different rates. So they might say, well, my cost for raw recorded voiceover for 1 hour of audio would be £80. That then works their hourly rate out as well. And again, you can still change all of these figures. So if you wanted to tweak them, if you know that your editing takes 2 hours to work on 1 hour, then you can tweak that. But then you've also got to think about the cost per hour here, because now it's taking 2 hours to produce 1 hour of audio. So that would have to be tweaked to keep the hourly rate at £30 an hour there. So that's how the calculator works. And obviously that's now changed. The cost per finished hour is £165 now, and the new total cost is £12.49. So what does that do to the original rate per finished hour? It grays it out. And if you wanted to come back to this, if you were done with this calculator here and not using it, you could just click on there and change it, and then it resets the figures below. So that concludes the walkthrough of the cost calculator. I hope you found it useful, and I hope you'll find the calculator useful in your future jobs. And if you would like to share this, please feel free to do so. You can share it here with these options. And also, please do consider us for any services in the future that we might be able to help with. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy using this free calculator.